What's going on, guys? Accessory Red here, and my very first video on this channel is going to be a Pokemon TCGO video. And just to let you guys know, I'm a casual, kind of competitive player. I don't know a lot of the the big meta decks or anything like that, but as you can see here, I have a Turtonator Volcanion deck with a Ho-Oh GX. This isn't the standard build you always see. I unfortunately don't have any Tapu Leles, so we just gotta make do with what we got. So we kind of added a couple more extra cards in just to kind of fill those spots. So as you can see, we have this Sudowoodo here, the Guardian's Rising with the ability Roadblock, just to kind of prevent my opponent from having 5 Pokemon on the bench, just to keep them at 4. Still out on the bench just to try to thin out their bench space. Then Ho-Oh here, he's just kind of here as a secondary attacker. If we can get him powered up, try to hit for this Phoenix Burn attack for 180. The downside is he can only can't use it during his next turn. Yeah, we gotta try to work around that. Sacred Fire isn't too bad of a move, but it's got a heavy energy cost just to do 50 damage. So there's that. Next up, we have a 2-line of Turtonator GX. I'm sure all you guys know what he does. It's got his Shell Trap attack for 2 colorless, does 20 base damage. And then during your opponent's next turn, if this Pokemon is damaged by an attack, even if it's knocked out, you put 8 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. So that's, you're looking at, you put 20 damage on him one turn, the next turn just because of the effect of that, he's got one of 2 choices. He can either pass the turn, try to Guzma up another Pokemon. Well, no, not Guzma. Try to Lysander up another Pokemon just to try to get away from that. But if he decides to attack Turtonator to try to get him off, say he can one-hit KO him or something, he is going to take that 8 extra damage, and in most cases, you see you're doing 100 damage there. Fighting Fury Belt, you're doing an extra 10 if you still run Fighting Fury Belt. You're doing 30 base and then the 8, so you're doing 110 in 2 turns, which then can set up that Pokemon to get knocked out the next turn if we have a fully powered up Volcanion. But the main attack we're going to try to use with him is this Bright Flame attack. Discard 2 fire energies from this Pokemon, does 160 damage. But you'll see in the energy here, over here, we do have that burning energy, which attach that to Turtonator. You do have to discard 2 fire energies, but luckily with the burning energy, its effect, it goes in the discard pile, but then it gets attached right back to him. So, and then the main GX attack we're going to use in this deck, even though he's not the main attacker, is a Nitro Tank GX. You attach 5 fire energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way that you would like. So say you got a couple Volcanions that just need a couple more energies apiece just to get them fully powered up. You just boom, hit that Nitro Tank. You get those energies onto your Volcanion, and you got 2 fully powered Volcanions. Next one, we do have the baby Volcanions. Any Volcanion deck, you kind of have to have these. What kind of line number? 2? Yeah, it's basically the only thing you're using baby Volcanion for is this first attack here for 1 fire energy. Power Heater does 20 base damage, and then choose 2 of your bench Pokemon, attach a fire energy card from your discard pile to each of those Pokemon. So that's another easy way to set up your bench Pokemon. You got the 1/1 Starmie line with that Space Beacon ability. Once during your turn, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, put 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. There's that. Sorry about that. Next up, we got a 3-line of Volcanion EX. We got 2 of these beautiful full arts and 1 regular art. The ability Steam Up once during your turn. You may discard a fire energy card from your hand If you do during this turn, your basic fire Pokemon attack do 30 more damage. So yeah, that'll definitely come in handy. If you have some spare energy cards in your hand that you don't need to use, just discard them. One steam up, you can do an extra 30, and say you got, 2 bench Volcanions, you steam up twice, you do an extra 60 damage. Looking at this Volcanic Heat attack does base 130. Unfortunately, you can't attack during your next turn. Well, this Pokemon can't, but there's ways around it. As you can see, we do run the Float Stone, attach a Float Stone onto him. Next turn after he uses that attack, swap him out for another Volcanion, use a fresh Volcanic Heat. Yeah, do that. Well, with Steam Up, you're doing 130, and then with the 2 Steam Ups, you're doing 190. You got a choice band on, and you're hitting for 210 or 220. So, yeah, that's definitely enough to one-hit KO most of the GXs that you come across. So there's that. We are running 3 Field Blowers. Everybody knows what that does. Choose up to 2 in any combination of a Pokemon tool and stadium cards in play and discard them. Which that'll come in handy. Say, somebody has a stadium card, like the Aether Paradise Conservation Area or a Po Town. That, every time you evolve your Pokemon, you take 3 damage counters. For those expanded decks running the Rough Seas, get that out of the way. Some Parallel Cities. What else is there? The not commonly used anymore Fright Nights. I have came across a bunch of those. Like I said, I'm not a heavily competitive player, so I do a lot of expanded stuff. I do some standard stuff, but I run mostly expanded. So yeah, got the Field Blowers always come in handy. And yeah, like I said, tool cards, you got a Float Stone on one of your opponent's Pokemon, that has a heavy retreat cost. You can just bump that Float Stone off, and then, they got to either try to pull another Float Stone, or they have to try to find some way to retreat that Pokemon. Most likely, if they can't pull a Float Stone, they are going to have to put some energies on there to get them off the board if they don't have a Pokemon with an ability to get them out of the active, or smacking down a Guzma. Those Field Blowers. Okay, next up, probably one of the most crucial cards in this deck is Max Elixir. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck and attach a basic energy card you find there to a basic Pokemon on your bench. Self-explanatory. You got Volcanions on the bench. You got a Ho-Oh on the bench. You got possibly a Turtonator on the bench. Just, lay down a Max Elixir, hope to pull that fire energy, attach it. Easy way just to try to get your bench as stacked up as possible. You correlate that with Baby Volcanion's Power Heater. Boom, you get some more energies on down there. Easy way to try to get your bench powered up. That's that. We run 1 Rescue Stretcher. Choose one. You can either get a Pokemon from your discard pile, put it back into your hand, or shuffle 3 Pokemon from your discard pile back into your deck. So say your Turtonator gets knocked out, or one of your Baby Volcanions or regular Volcanion EX gets knocked out, lay down the Rescue Stretcher, put it right back into your hand, lay it back down on the bench. Pretty self-explanatory. Next up, we do run, the crucial 4 Ultra Balls. Let's say you're opening hand, you get stuck with a Sudowoodo, or you get stuck with a Ho-Oh right off the get, but you have an Ultra Ball in your hand. Throw down an Ultra Ball, discard 2 cards, search your deck for Pokemon you want. Baby Volcanions, Volcanion EX, Turtonator, something a little more usable. There's that. We do run 3 Brooklet Hills. Once during your turn, each player can search their deck for a basic water type Pokemon or basic fighting type, put it on your bench. That's strictly for the Volcanions, because the Volcanions are the dual types that are fire water, so you can get those out of your deck if you don't pull them and they're not in your hand. Just lay the Brooklet Hill down, boom, get your Volcanions out. Okay, next we got 2 Acerolas. Put one of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it and all cards attached to it back into your hand. So your Volcanion's about ready to get knocked out. Your Ho-Oh, any of your two prize cards. Throw it on the Acerola, put it right back into your hand. All damage counters get off of it, and then you can play it right back on the bench. so that way you don't let your opponent get those 2 prize cards. Next up, it's your boy Guzma. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active. If you do, switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. So say they have an EX or GX on their bench that you did damage to, and they were able to get out of the active to save it for a later time. And you're powered up, about ready to knock it out. But your Pokemon in your active, like say you got a regular Volcanion EX on your active slot, you have no energies attached to it, you got no flow stone attached to it, but you want to knock out that Pokemon. Just lay down a Guzma, you switch up, their Pokemon you want to knock out, and you pull back your Volcanion EX and you put up a fully powered Pokemon, like another Volcanion or Ho-Oh or a Turtonator. Hell, maybe even the baby Volcanion if you chose to put enough energy on that to use its can't remember what its attack was called. What was it? Steam Artillery. Say you're crazy enough to put fully power up your baby Volcanion. You can get the easy knockout there. Next up is the most crucial card in this deck. It is the boy Kiawe. You search your deck for up to 4 fire energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon and shuffle your deck. Your turn ends. Basically, just like that. The main key to this deck is you want to get that first turn Kiawe. To get that first turn Kiawe, say you get a Volcanion first hand, put up an active, throw it on the Kiawe, get 4 energy cards from your deck, attach them to your Volcanion, boom, fully powered up Volcanion. Only problem, after you play this card, your turn ends. You don't get to attack, you don't get to lay down any more cards, your turn just ends. So make sure first turn you do what you got to do before you use Kiawe. Once you use Kiawe, your turn is done. Like I said, most crucial card in this deck. Alright, next up, obviously one of the main staple trainer cards, N. Each player shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck, and each player draws a card for each of his or her remaining prize cards. This is more of a late game draw game right here. Say your opponent's down to 1 or 2 prize cards and you still got a full hand of 6. You can disrupt your opponent, throw the end down, make him get rid of his hand, and draw 1, 2 cards. Got that end. Everybody knows what end does. Then you got Professor Sycamore. He's been around for a couple years. Discard your hand and draw 7 cards. Boom, just like that. You will probably 80% of the time, there's going to be a card in your hand you don't want to get rid of, but you have nothing else you can do, and you need to try to get some more draw support. Like say you need some energies, or you need a Pokemon, or a trainer card, or something, but it's just not in your hand. But you need to get it ASAP. Throw the Sycamore down, discard your hand, draw a new hand. Sometimes you might even get the Pro Play, Sycamore be the only card left in your hand. Toss it down, you're getting a fresh hand of 7 without getting rid of anything that you need. Alright, next we do run a 3-line of Fighting Fury Belt. I want to say one of the deck lists that I tried basing this off of only ran 2. So, like I said, I didn't have the Tapu Lele, so I had to fill the deck up. Everybody knows what Fighting Fury Belt does. Basic Pokemon this card is attached to gets 40 HP, and its attack do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Throw that on your Volcanions, you're hitting for, 180? No, 130. Throw a Fighting Fury Belt, you get 140. I might actually try swapping out those Fighting Fury Belts for Choice Bands, just for that extra damage, but you don't get the extra HP. But yeah. Next up, the 2 Float Stones. Like I said, Volcanion has a very heavy retreat cost of 3 energies. So throw the Float Stones on there. Throw the Float Stones. This has no retreat cost, so you can retreat them whenever you want. Alright, next up, we run 2 of the Burning Energies, like I discussed earlier, for that Volcanion attack. No, the Turtonator attack. You discard, 2 Fire Energies after you use it. Put the Burning Energy on them. Boom, you're technically really only discarding 1, because that goes right back onto him. This makes no sense, but just 1 double colorless energy, just because Turtonator, the Shell Trap attack is 2 colorless. I figured just throw 1 DCE in there, just so we don't have to take 2 turns, a possible 2 turns to get the energy on. Just get lucky, draw the 1 DCE, and throw it on the Turtonator. Might end up taking that out or putting more in it. And then 13 basic fire energies. So yeah, kind of need a good amount of energies in this deck, you know, for the Kiawe's, the max elixirs, you know, and the heavy. It's not really heavy, it's more of a moderate energy cost for those attacks. But yeah, that's the deck I'm going to be using for a couple videos. Haven't really done good with it so far, but that's only because I haven't got super lucky. But yeah, other than that, that's my deck profile. You know, like I said, I'm not really a competitive player that much, but you know, I did what I could. My videos are going to be more of a casual play, just building, you know, what I want, and just doing some casual videos. So don't expect no world championship type battles. I do appreciate all the support. If you guys choose to like my videos, you know, hit that thumbs up, maybe even hit that subscribe button if you liked. I'm going to be mostly doing Pokemon TCGO, but I may do other video games as well. Might do some Pokken Tournament DX on the Switch, possibly some Splatoon, basically more family friendly games. But yeah, other than that, like I said, if you liked the video, hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, and I'll catch you guys later. Alright, Accessory Red out.